not even 5 different states, it'd be 6 different states, right? Because you could be leader nothing, you could be nothing nothing, you could be a GM band nothing, you could be leader band. Oh no, that's not a real thing. Right, that's actually why this file exists. Like, even though they don't represent the same, like, thing in the game, like, they represent very different things, they are mutually exclusive, which is why it worked. So, like, that, so there's no such thing as leader band, um, but neutral band and GM band. So yeah, neutral band and GM band are the two states that I specifically want to differentiate. So yeah, okay, this should be pretty straightforward. Oh, I will have to like run a script. No, no one's banned. Right. Hypothetically, like if I was working with live data and changing the file format, I would have to run a script to update all the data that exists currently. But there's actually no one banned from the game right now. So um, there are people banned from the chat channel and thereby banned from the game, but like this is a special value that only bans the player from the game and not from the chat channel, which like it basically never gets used. So right now it's privileges.txt, but I just have to change that. So uh, I guess privileges will be I'll just keep privileges as the one that regulates like leader versus GM band. Oh, leaders. If anyone's curious, some players, and by some I mean exactly one player, can be chat GM whenever they want to be chat GM. They don't have to ask me for permission to be chat GM. They can just like roll in and be like, "Hey, I'm chat GM," and the game's like, "Okay," and that's because they have the leader permission. So that's like the opposite of being banned from ever being GM. Uh, okay. Uh, uh, privileges. Yeah, let's just go to let's just look for references to privileges .txt. Because I think like it's yeah, the values on the player, they're already kept as like separate data values. It was only the file like privileges.txt that that was really like shared. Oh right, so yeah, so right, so the band command should no longer be writing to privileges.txt. It should be writing to whatever I changed the name to. So like band or like band.txt. I don't know. That seems as fine as anything, right? Uh, sure. Band .txt. What is it that we write to this file in the case that they are banned? B string. B string equals banned. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, and we keep a note of like stuff. What happens? Oh yeah. Wait, B string equals banned. What if we're unbanning the player? What if uh oh right, the unban command is a separate command. Right. Okay, so again we just oh okay, we so it's either banned or no. Sure. Okay. And so that the rest of that should work fine. The other thing that we have to change now is that now that this is creating a separate file when we ban or unban a player, we'll need to be loading from the correct file. And I think that's basically the only other place where this even gets referenced. So, yeah, right. So, uh, so we can cut this out. You can duplicate all of this. So band .txt. So if OS right. So if this exists, then with open. So if length blah blah blah. If elif so or no so not elif. So if lines index 0 equals band, then Oh well, yeah. Actually, I had this on my clipboard, anyways. Then that's the case where band equals true. Right. So yeah. So here now for with the old privileges file. So if lines index 0 equals leader, then player dictionary name dot leader equals true, and then so elif lines index 0 equals GM band, then player dictionary index name dot, I don't know, I'll just make another value for GM band equals, and actually for consistency I'll keep the underscore here as well. GM band equals true. Yeah. I mean, I did say that leader and GM band were mutually exclusive, but I'm going to keep them as separate values anyways. No. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep them as separate values anyways. And, alright, so, right, so now let's make GM band actually a thing. So let's go to the definition of our adventurer, which is where? Higher up here. Not that high. So the definition of our adventurer can be a leader. Where's the leader state? Leader state is defaults to false. GM band also defaults to false. Actually, I might do this the other way around. I might make it GM valid. Yeah, GM valid equals true. And default. I just like I typically I prefer conditionals that I don't have to negate. And like we're not going to be checking if GM band equals true. If it stayed as GM band, we would have been checking if GM band equals false. And an easier way to say that is just to say if GM valid. Okay, so so GM band. Right, so it's going to be I don't know. I'll keep GM band as like the code, but it's going to set GM valid equal to false. Yeah. And now so now when we're picking volunteers, we can just we'll only accept volunteers who are valid for GM. Valid to be GM. Yeah. Okay. So let's go there. It's oh wow, the word I is in the word player, so there's gonna be a million references to the word I. Action sim plus I. There we go. So volunteer tag, yeah. So it's when we're working with the volunteer tag. Oops, I did not mean to change tabs. So volunteer tag, yeah. So if access, yeah. Volunteer tag and player index, player dictionary index. This is a scenario where we're processing the player's chat input, so we can assume the player is in the dictionary. We don't have to check if the name is in the player set. So player dictionary.name.gm valid. Yeah. Okay. So now if you're banned, you're just not even added to the list of volunteers. Yeah. I mean, I could also do it so that like when we actually choose a volunteer from the list of volunteers, we filter out there. But if the list only consists of invalid players, I don't want to even consider the list to have any length at all. I don't know if that's actually relevant right now, but just generally, I don't know. That seems like the better sort of organization for it. Okay. Guest GM volunteers. Sorry, this is neither here nor there, but I have a small exercise device that I keep at my desk, and I'm now standing on it, and which is why I'm suddenly taller, so much taller all of a sudden. And it was broken for like weeks, and now it's fixed, and Yay! Look, I'm climbing stairs while I'm coding. So if it's not too distracting, I think I might celebrate its proud return. Part of the reason I haven't been streaming as much, or at least one of my excuses for not streaming as much, has been that since I didn't have my little exercise device, I had to go out into the real world to get exercise. So I've been like biking like a madman, um, and I tell myself that now that I have this, I don't have to take as many days off. I can stream more often, and we'll find out if that's true. Uh, okay, so now I've done most of the stuff, right? So we have the GM band state. Oh, did I? There's no like command for like GM band. Um, hmm. Interesting. So, how do I mean, like, yeah, so the purge ban button is definitely going to incur the GM ban state. Is there another, like, contextual scenario where I want this ban state to get applied? Or, like, do I want a separate command for, like, players who... Oh, yeah, no, you know what I'll probably want to do with this? I have a purge command. A purge command? Yeah, so I have this purge command where, if someone basically like in scenarios where like inappropriate text makes its way into the game, um, we delete that text from the game. Oh, actually, maybe I should think of this value in a different way. Maybe instead of thinking of it as like a GM ban, maybe I should just consider it like a global like language ban. Like there are ways that players can like input like text into the game, like like kind of like ad lib events or another scenario where what players type in chat can actually show up on screen. So yeah, so I guess more generically, like it shouldn't just be GM ban, it should be like language ban or like yeah, yeah. I think that's actually a better system. So instead of GM valid, uh, we'll say like vocal, not even vocal, audible. Yeah, audible. Uh, Players default audible equals true. We can hear players by default. However, players can lose their permission to speak. Um, yeah, it won't even be GM banned. I guess I'll call it like muted. When muted, then audible equals true, or audible equals false. Yeah. So we won't check if blah blah. We'll check if audible, and then yeah. So right. So the purge command. The purge command works a little differently because the purge command is used to like spot delete inappropriate pieces of text from the game, and what we can do is when we purge that data, we can go to all of the players who are responsible for it, and we can automatically apply this mute to those players, in addition to just rinsing and removing the text from the game. Yeah. So cool. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And then right, so then this purge ban button will also do that, except specifically for the GM, the guest GM. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, when that happens, I mean, one of the things I was thinking is that, hey, creative, how's it going? Welcome. What do I use for alerts on Twitch? Would you believe me if I said I use Twitch alerts? Yeah, Twitch alerts is literally the name of the thing that I use. Twitch alerts .com. It's this cool site, and it uses makes little pop-up stuff. I don't use the art piece, but you can put like little animated GIFs on your messages as well. You can do like cute text stuff too, but yeah, I like Twitch alerts because they have this other program called Stream Labels, which is how I use is it's how I use the it's how I make the karma system work in this game, because stream labels take some of the data that Twitch Alerts gives you, and like recent followers and stuff. It tells you it not only does it tell you that stuff, it saves it as text files on your computer, and that's something that SideQuest can read. So yeah, that's how stuff. Okay. Let's what was I doing? I was the Audible stuff. Okay, so purge ban, all that good stuff. Yeah, so like Audible, interesting. Like Audible is very similar to Audible is very similar to like whether like the player is just straight up banned or not. The difference being that like if a player is inaudible, they they can still participate in fixed action events. But what we're going to deactivate is we're going to deactivate their voice data. So like they're not going to be part of the voice system at all. So deactivate their voice data, deactivate their participation in ad lib events, and of course the guest jam thing, which we've already done. So let's go to the other two. So so voice data. I mean, I guess we'll still call that data. Like, so one of the awkward things about those systems work right now is that we parse out those lists, that data. We parse that out, like the action tags that come in get like sorted inside a loop. I don't like putting conditionals inside a loop, because this is not the most common scenario. Like it's like the audible hopefully like as infrequently as I use the ban tag, I won't have to use the audible tag very often. So like this, it's not actually very likely that this will actually ever happen. So what I'd rather do, instead of like trying to like put this condition inside the loop and have to evaluate it like gratuitously many times, I'm just gonna process the data as normal, regardless of whether irregardless of regardless, I forget which one of those I like. Regardless, I don't like irregardless, because that sounds okay. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, so regardless of whether the player's audible, we're going to process the data as usual, but then at the end, if the player's inaudible, then we'll just like discard that data, because that won't happen very often. So it's actually less unnecessary processing to do it that way. Voices. I mean, I guess we should do this like both. There are two scenarios where we get voice data, and we should do it in both of them. So find voices, mute voices. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so for vkey in volume dictionary, so for vkey in player dictionary name. Oh, mute. Oh no, mute voice is not mute voice is not a GM command. Mute voice is something different. So I was like, oh, I should like make the player inaudible here, but no, that's something different actually. Let's continue on, because this is not what I'm looking for. So if vkey in rolled voices. Oh yeah, this is something different. We'll do something kind of similar for like when we, like, this is an example of how we go through and look up all the players who like used a particular tag, which we'll also want to do on purge, but a little differently. What is this? Where are we? What is this crazy place? Voice time, frame time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so we put together the voice keys, right? Yeah. So oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Because we have this big conditional about like. Oh. Well, no. Whatever. I'm just gonna do the simple thing, which is if if player dictionary index name dot audible, if not audible, uh, if not player dictionary name dot audible, then voice keys equals a blank list. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Wait, voice keys equals act. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So if the player's inaudible, we just mute them straight up. Oh, we should do this before we do the act count. Wait, should we? Yes. Yeah. Certainly. Okay. Yes. Good. And then. Oh, wait, is that true? No. No, we should do that after. Yeah. Right. Because just because we're ignoring the voice keys doesn't mean that those voice things count as valid actions. Okay. Um, yes. I think that doesn't actually even matter for anything, but whatever. Technically, that's more accurate. All right. So that's so this is one of the scenarios, and then the other one is basically the same thing except down here. So again, in the case that player is not audible, then we just mute the voice keys once more. Okay. Why no code comments? How will I remember why I did this 6 months from now? Yes. So there are two approaches, right? The popular one that Super Blotto mentions is using comments and reading comments. The convenience is that you have comments to read, and the cost is that you write comments. The alternative is not to do that, which you might notice I'm doing. The convenience of not doing that is that you don't write comments, and therefore you don't spend time writing comments. The downside is that you don't have comments, and you just get it contextually. So, for example, why, like, so I'll just jump to a random line of code. This is bonus dictionary apop equals 1. Where are we? Oh, this is event processing. So we're processing, and why are we setting bonus dictionary apop equal 1? Oh, because so when we're processing a tilt event type, the first thing that we check is whether there has been an overwhelming no. First we check if there's been a majority vote at all. Then we check if there's been an overwhelming majority. If there's an overwhelming majority, we set the bonus dictionary for the most popular action to be 2, because that's the maximum points you can get. But then if there has been a majority, but there hasn't been an overwhelming majority, then we set it to 1. So I didn't waste time writing comments here because I don't need them. Contexts. Does that make sense? If I was working on a project with multiple people, like, they wouldn't be able to infer context as readily as I could. So yeah, so the like the no comments thing really only works for an independent developer, like a lone wolf developer, and that's what I am for this project. So yeah. Okay. So I literally just answered your question, Super Blotto. Like, if you're if you're a comments fetishist, like, just take it elsewhere. You came to the wrong place. Okay. Let's what were we doing? That's why I don't answer stupid. Sorry. Not that your question was stupid, but that's why I don't answer questions. Like, some questions just get asked, like, not because anyone actually cares about the answer, but because they want to, like, be heard asking the question, and I really shouldn't indulge that. Yeah, okay, so so I was talking about the 3 scenarios where we actually want players to be inaudible. So now I've rinsed voice data. I've, like, muted voice data, and of course we did the guest GM thing first. The other one was ad lib events. So now let's do ad lib events. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a similar. It's very similar to the voice stuff that we just did. So let's go to. Let's actually just go back to those places where we were processing the voice data, because yeah. So actually, AdLibs is going to be a little bit different. I'm gonna. I do. Oof. I don't know. Yeah, the way like the AdLib stuff works is gonna be like I'm not gonna rinse the act string, like the act search or whatever. Um, uh, well, yeah. So Super Blotto, it's literally exactly as I just described. You can spend the time like you're gonna spend time either way. You can spend the time figuring stuff out, or you can spend the time writing the comments in advance. It's literally like you're gonna spend time either way. Personally, I spend less time figuring stuff out than writing comments. If you spend less time writing comments, good for you. Like, go have a happy life writing comments and, like, good, go away and do that. I mean, you don't have to go away, but, like, I don't like this topic. It's, like, the most mundane and, like, uninteresting thing in computer science, and, like, everyone talks about it, so. Alright, I apologize. I've literally had this conversation, like, over hundreds of times. It's disgusting, and I have to just stop having it. I just have to have people. It'd be really convenient if people like stop freaking asking it, but I just have to ignore it is what I have to do, which is harsh because like you show up here and you just ask questions and I just ignore you, but that's like what I literally have to do, and I don't know. All right. All right. So if Kurev at so Kurev .adlib, I think I'm just gonna add in like an additional. Yeah, like I was saying before, like for various reasons, I can't just clear out the act search thing straight up. I can't just. Oh, cripes! Hold on a second. How? Yeah, no. So the reason I can't just rinse it out is because the Gambit stuff. Yeah. Oh wait. I do the Gambit stuff before I do the I do the Gambit stuff first, actually. How? Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So yeah. Sorry. Um, if name in Gambit. No. Okay. So for iron range. So if act search in Gambits. Player Gambit. Wait. What? For iron range, so we go over the entire act search. This seems wrong. Like just in terms of like what I'm thinking of like how I would want to go about this. Yeah, like I don't. Well, so for one thing, well I don't know. Maybe it like is all great and everything, except what it seems like I'm not doing is that I'm not actually taking the Gambit out of the list of act search whatever. Um, which I'm pretty sure I'll want to do because otherwise it'll actually get processed as an adlib tag as well. In the case this is not an adlib event, it won't matter. But like, yeah, I should be I should be I should be doing like what uh hmm. For I in range, the length of act search -1, minus 1, down to -1, stepping down by 1 each thing. We'll say if act search. Oh. Am I doing any advanced processing on No, this is fine. Wait a second. Sorry, I just remembered how I'm with gambits. Oh yeah, I think I'm doing something like really. Wait, okay, no. I will leave. Okay, wait. I will leave the system as it had been just a moment ago. Like it won't change that part. Yeah, no, because what I just remembered is like the way that I process gambits is like I don't think I'm doing it yet, but like it could be like more sophisticated than I'm doing it yet. And so I want it to be am I left-handed? I'm not. I'm right-handed, right? That's what most people are, right? If I write with my right hand. Uh yeah. So yeah, I hypothetically I should be handling gambits in a more sophisticated manner, and if I do that, then I'll need. Well, I mean, like, so right now I don't need to be more. I don't need to, take a different approach. Like, I could do what I was about to do, but like, yeah, if and once I upgrade or whatever, I'll want to instead say. So at the end, I'll say like for I in range the length of act search minus the length minus 1 down to -1, stepping by -1. Uh, we'll say if act search index I in gambits. We'll check this again. Then we'll say act act search dot pop I. Um, so basically, like once we process all the gambits, we just take the gambits out of the list entirely. So that way, when we get down to Kurev adlib processing, uh, we we won't accidentally get gambits counted for adlibs. Yeah, that would have been crazy and like made stuff really super weird. Um, so then the other thing that we do is yeah. So inside the adlib case, wait, what is this? If the length of act search is greater than 0, what if? What do we do in the adlib case? If name. Oh, right, right, right. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I was thinking like I could put the audible thing as part of this condition, but like I don't want this else case. So there's this weird else case for the Twitter half of adlib events, and that's if you don't use the if you don't use an action tag on Twitter, you actually still get like partially included in the event anyways, just for like I don't know, just for like replying. Okay, so no, yeah. So I'm gonna add in a separate conditional if player dictionary uh, index name dot audible. Then we do all this stuff, and then in the else case we just don't. So like yeah, so we're not like rinsing the action strings or anything. We're just actually maybe yeah, no, this is fine. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so now let's do this the other place too. Both of those things, right? Right, so that's voice stuff. And then yeah, so again, for the case of adlib, so if cur of adlib, right? So this one's much simpler. So here I actually can even just put audible as part of the act search thing. So if the length of act search is greater than 0, and player dictionary index name, player dictionary index name dot audible, because here we're not doing that special like else case. But I do still have to do the gambit thing, right? Because yeah, so for I in range, the length of act search -1. Yeah, so the reason we're iterating backwards over act search is because we're popping off of a list, and that's changing the length of it as we iterate, and it's changing the subsequent indexes. Like it's changing the indexes of everything after the thing that we're popping, and so we'll want to work our way backwards, because if we work backwards, then only the things the things that change will be the things that we've already fixed up, and so we don't have to worry about all the things that are shifting around. again, if xsearch index I in gambits. Gambits is our list of gambits. Gambits are these other action tags that you can use that don't. Oh yeah, that was something that I wanted to do actually. Pro tips tweeted at linked GMs. Yeah, that's the thing. And then also pro tip use gambits. I want to the use of gambits is going to be important for the guest GM system, the spontaneous guest GM system. So I'm gonna add like a pro tip as like on-screen text, I think, which is like, yeah. How is the puppy? He was good. He was in a really good mood this morning. I think it's because like the weather's really nice, but he was just like lying in the sun and like just like hopping around the place, and I don't know. He was just in one of those moods where like every time I even glanced in his direction, he would like get all excited and like so yeah, he's good. I don't know where he is now. He's probably still lying in the sun somewhere. All right, so let's oh right, so I forgot the last line, which is xsearch dot pop I pop I. Okay. Sorry. Cool. So is that? Yeah, that's. I think that's everything that I needed in terms of applying like the GM band state, which we call it GM band state here, but it's actually like the audible band state, or inaudible state. And then so the purge band button, yeah. So that is important and definitely a thing. Yeah. So let's start adding in the UI first, I guess, and then we can hook up what it does. So so here's where we define our UI, and so we have the fast. So like yeah. So at the end of this list here, we have the slower and the faster buttons, which were the last buttons on the list. So now let's add in a new button, which is duplicate this. So so pev purge ban equals blah blah pev purge ban. So the text is going to be just purge ban. The width is going to be 30. The height is going to be 3. I guess they're all like height 3. So the column span is going to be 2. Oh, and the row is going to be the column is going to be 0. Although I think I don't really have to specify that, considering I think it defaults to that. But yeah, so the row is 13. Okay. Okay, and the command will be purge ban. Yeah, I guess that's fine. It'll just be called purge ban. Okay. So whoops. Why did the cursor not move up here when I clicked up here? So the definition of purge ban will be like global cur-ev, right? Well, actually, no. You know what? This is going to be like kind of involved. So I think actually the purge ban button will initiate. So it'll be like global schedule, and then oh wait, why don't I just use why do I oh yeah, tkinter. I think there's not really a good reason why. It was just occurring to me like, so I do some kind of sketchy things with tkinter. Like I think some of the things I do with it are not like actually thread safe. They're just like safe enough so that it never actually really causes a problem, although they are entirely liable or potential to cause a problem. um, and I don't think there's a specifically good reason why, like, most of the stuff I do, like, I think I talked about this a while ago. Like, I think this came up, and I think I decided that, like, tkinter was not, in my view, a final solution, and I was, like, considering a different UI solution, and so I didn't go through with, like, the full conversion process to, like, get tkinter working great, because I just, yeah, I guess I don't know. So, yeah, now in that state, then I'm left with like an a feeling of like uncertainty every time I have to continue using this like not necessarily ideal system. But global schedule, yeah, uh, scheduled insert at position 0. Uh, we will insert an item. I don't. I think for some reason with like schedule and like for messages and stuff, I've been using lists. But there's hey Micro Awesome, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, I've been using lists when I could just be using tuples for this stuff. It's a lot of old faces today. A lot of new faces too. Good day. Okay. So 0, purge ban. Yeah, that's all I really need to do. So I just have a button that schedules a purge ban, and then so now in the schedule we have to process purge bans, and it'll be easier to do it on the data thread than on the tkinter thread, for many of reasons. Oh, you know what I'm still not doing. Actually, I'll just put it as a task because I'm gonna keep forgetting. Uh, Mute players with purge commands. Yeah. Right now we have the purge command, not the purge ban button, but like we have a purge command that purges, text from the game. And yeah, like I said before, when we purge that text, we also want to mute those players, and that we're not doing that yet. Okay. Did I check out the game you made, or was it? Was it? It was a while ago, right? You didn't, I don't think you sent me one, and I don't think you sent me one recently. I do. I did. I have checked out like all the projects that have been sent my way. Although, if it was a project that requires like installation, I probably didn't check it out, just because I don't install random stuff on my computer. Nothing personal. I just don't. All right. So, what's what was I? What was I doing? Oh yeah, purge ban. And then I'll at the end I'll come back and do the other purge stuff. Oh, then yeah, I probably did check it out. If it doesn't require installing, then I probably did check it out. But if I don't remember you sending me one recently, so it was probably a while ago, and I probably don't remember what it was. So, unfortunately, I don't have a continuation to that sentence, or there's no like. That is the complete thought. There's. I would need a reminder if you're expecting me to say something further on the topic. Okay, so there's a init role. Oh, I guess technically it'd be an init purge ban. Sure. I just differentiate between the things that get scheduled for the future and the things that get scheduled for, like, immediately. So, let's go back down here again. It's the whole init section. And purge ban, if we're lucky, purge ban, maybe the button will never get used. Wouldn't it be great if the purge ban button never, ever, ever got used? I mean, we're putting in the button because we want it there just in case. But, yeah. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of this, like, frequency lists. We tend to group these things in order of frequency because that's we run the fewest unnecessary conditional checks that way. So do now index 1, do now index 1 equals init purge ban. Then, yeah, this is where the magic happens. So it only works if there's a current event. Oh, okay. So it only works if there's a current event and the author of the event is the guest GM. Actually, no, I guess that's not true. I could use the purge ban button not just for the spontaneous guest GM. It's I could use it for like the crown GM as well. I mean, hopefully I wouldn't have to. I don't want to accidentally like misclick the purge ban button and ban myself, like purge ban myself. That would be unintentional. Like I don't want to accidentally purge ban the administrator. So I only want to do it if there's like an event that's running that is valid for purge ban. Let's yeah, okay, so we'll just check if there's a live event and the source is not the administrator. Yeah, okay, so if cur dot live and cur dot source not equal admin. Yeah. And then then yeah, so this is fun. This is where we set up so we'll say like wait, can we assume the presence of data? Oh, yeah. Can we assume the presence of data for a guest GM? Like, is it? I guess there's no reason that. Yeah, no, you don't have to have data to be guest GM, so we can't necessarily assume the presence of. Okay, so first, so like pb fpath pb underscore fpath purge ban file path equals players slash plus curev dot source. Hey, that's the new follower sound. Kagapots, welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for following. I like your name. It's fun to say. I'm sorry for mispronouncing it because I'm sure I did, but whatever. It's fun to mispronounce. PB fpath players. Yeah, curve source. So the first thing that we check is if not os.path.exists. Like if this folder, like if this player doesn't even have a folder yet, we have to set up a folder for them because we're about to ban them, and so we need to put that ban file somewhere. So if it doesn't exist, pb fpath, then we'll say os.mcdir pb fpath, and then we'll say pb fpath fpath plus equals slash what did we call this? Privileges dot txt. Yeah, this one, right, this is the GME one, so it's stated as privileges dot txt. Is there? No, yeah, no. The muted thing, and I think muted was the, yeah, so we'll say, so then we say with open uh, PB fpath for writing purposes. We'll say as like p data, I guess. We'll say p data dot write. Whoops. P data dot write muted, I think is what we called it, right? Muted is what we looked for to determine whether the player was audible at the time we were loading the player. Yeah, okay. So we'll just write muted. And it doesn't matter what that file had been previously because we're just like stomping on it with this. So, yeah, so, with open blah blah pdata.write muted. So let's yeah. So that's okay. That's the easy part. That's the ban part. So now we still have to do the purge part too. The purge part is a little more involved. We have to. Yeah, but, so I guess I need a new command on the graphics thread too because on the graphics thread I need a way to rinse all of the text off screen. I just need to make it all disappear because that's the purge part. So yeah, so actually I guess the rest of oh no, I also need to conclude the event. So I guess well, so no, the conclude event part is pretty easy, I think. I think basically all I need to do is say conclude event equals true or something like that. Is that how that works? I do that in some other context, so let me double check if, how, and what the heck is all going on here. So, Creator! Creator, thank you very much for your donation! That is incredibly generous of you. Creative donates $5. Creative donates $5 and says, snuggle time with puppy, please. Alright, I mean that's doable. Hold on. I'll put on away mode and I will be right back. I'm gonna go puppy hunting. Who's a good little puppy dog? Oh, hey. Puppy dog. Who's a good boy? Who's a good poochie? Who's a little poochie? Who's an excited little poochie poochie? So this is for the oh no! Don't mind that noise, that honking noise. That was just because the script crashed. But no, this is, for those of you who haven't met Chalupa before, this is Chalupa, this is my roommate's dog, and he is adorable. He's a very busy dog though, so I think I have to let him, get on his way. But, yeah. This has been Puppy Snuggles time. Alright, sorry. Hold on, let's stop the script and figure out what the heck went wrong there. Cause that's fun. But, yeah, sorry, I hope it wasn't honking too long while I was gone. Voice timestamp reference before assignment? That's interesting. It's not going to give us the correct line number because I've been I've been I've been running the script for so long that all the line numbers are going to be like way out of place. But all right, let's just voice timestamp reference before assignment. All right, hopefully this will be obvious. But yeah, so what did I was that like in an okay okay. I was like, wait, was this just honking? Because I made that honking noise intentionally annoying so that it would be very noticeable. But I was like, shoot, was it doing that the whole time? All right. Well, that was good timing, I guess. Good enough. Um, what yeah, what was I doing when I stopped doing what I was doing? I guess I can figure that out later. So I'll just. Oh, well, actually, no. I guess it's no. It had to do with the purge ban stuff. Right. I had done the ban, and I was about to do the purge. Oh, right. So that's why I was coming up here to. I was coming up to the right. I was coming up to see if to see like what the conclude event. So if event on equals 1, then wait, what? Oh yeah, the call midtime thing. Right. So okay. So yeah. So the else case conclude event equals true. Oh, what's all this stuff? If cur ev live. This is because this is like yeah. So mostly like to conclude an event, I mostly just have to say conclude event equals true, and then the rest of it will get handled. But if cur ev live. Oh right. This is just So this is just because when I conclude an event through the secret panel, sometimes I want to set up like conclusion text, like text that happens at the end, and so that's unrelated. Yeah, so I think actually to conclude the event, literally all I have to do is just say conclude event equals true. Um, hmm. Although actually, now that I think about it, I might even want to handle that differently because hypothetically, like from when the event starts to when the purge ban button gets hit, like players can actually participate in the event during that time. So I'll probably want to, yeah, I'll probably want to do a little bit extra. ZX Flames 15, how's it going? Welcome. Uh, so right, yeah, okay. So when I come back to it, when I come back to this stuff, I'll look into that. But first, let's figure out what's going on with this crash. Yeah, so this line number is way off now. It's telling us about something about voice timestamp, right? So, uh, voice. So let's look at the next reference to voice timestamp. It's probably. Oh, well, yeah. Look at this. We do voice timestamp minus equals brevity, but like when do we actually even set voice timestamp? We don't actually set voice timestamp until down here. So actually, I guess that makes perfect sense. Uh, that is oh hey that was the new follower noise, and thank you ZX Flames for following. Welcome to the channel. Um, the what yeah why is it that when you donate and I get happy, stuff crashes? It's a clever illusion because actually stuff crashes all the time. So a very similar question could be like, when it rains out, why does stuff crash? that one, that one in particular, though, yeah, I guess, I mean, I'll figure out like at some point like what was the source of that crash, but like that was strange timing, right? It was like I thought it was gonna have something to do with the fact that I activated away mode during an event, because usually I activate away mode outside of an event in order to cause an event to happen, but there was not already an event in the progress. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, so voice timestamp minus equals brevity. Yeah, when When am I setting voice timestamp here? Because it looks like it looks like this would probably be the problem. Because I'm trying to minus equals from it before I ever set it. So the length of voice keys is greater than 0. This is where we... Wait a second. What? Yeah, wait, hold... Okay, so I remember putting in this logic not long ago. Hold on, sorry, I'm going to look up here real quick. Yeah, okay, so this occurs in both cases. Yeah, I put in this logic not long ago. It was when... what was in the process of doing? I forget... Oh, the verbosity and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I was like... Oh, the round verbosity? Yeah, right, because it was for the verbosity scoring system. The persistent verbosity, like, player value, whatever. Yeah, and so that's when I was changing this. Mhm. I think, I think what I forgot to do was just, uh, line up my voice timestamps correctly. I think, like, since this is where I'm, like, changing it for brevity, I just have to... I think this is really straightforward. I think it's really simple and straightforward. I'm pretty sure I just have to move this up here. Because, because it could become relevant here, and it could become relevant here. Wait, but then, wait. This conditional is the exact same as this conditional, except it has this or statement. So, if I actually put this, I was going to say I could put it in here, and I'd still not have to worry about it getting referenced before its assignment. But that also doesn't really matter. No, I guess this is fine. Because like it's impossible for this to evaluate without this evaluating. Like if this second block is going to evaluate, this first one is going to evaluate. There are some other situations where the first will evaluate and the second won't evaluate, but if the second evaluates, the first will always have evaluated. So why is there a second conditional? Why don't I just put it... It's kind of a weird setup. I could just do the first conditional and then do this as like a conditional inside. Yeah, why don't I do it that way? Because I'm crazy? Probably. Because I'm crazy? Is that what it is? It's because I'm crazy, isn't it? Pretty sure it's because I'm crazy. Act count is greater than 0. Yeah. I don't care. I'm not gonna mess with stuff right now. I just don't feel like messing with stuff right now. And this is fine enough. Like it's not especially, it's not horribly deficient right now. So okay. So again, we will put this here. Because again, this conditional identical to this conditional. So yeah. Okay, save that. And right, so now so that crash that occurred should no longer occur. What instigated that though? Like I feel like in order for that to have occurred, someone would have had to use the voice system. Which is weird, because I used the voice system earlier and it didn't crash. And I didn't even see anything in chat that really stood out as like, anyways, we can rerun the script. So yeah, so is the script in a good state to run? Let's hope so. Yeah, so like, as long as I don't... No, I think the script actually is in a good state to run. Because like, I'm not done implementing the things that I'm implementing. Oh, wait, actually, before before I run the script again for real, I'm going to run it for fake just to ferret out syntax errors and stuff like that. Oh yeah, so if comlines lower equals on equals false, or off. Yep. Me and syntax errors. Yep. Yes, sir. Look at all these syntax errors. I don't care about syntax. I don't care about syntax. Wait, what's invalid here? If I don't remember changing anything here. If oh, whoa, look at this. I just accidentally deleted a square brace. Weird. Okay. So look at all these syntax errors. Okay, this is just supposed to be indented, right? If wait, is this something I changed? If not cur ev live. Okay, yeah. If yeah. So this is right. If out. Wait, what? Oh. I must have just accidentally unindented this when yeah, so I unindented these two lines here, but I must have accidentally unindented this line here when that was supposed to stay indented. Okay. I was like, wait, I don't remember editing this today. No, it was this stuff that, yeah. I do tend to introduce like syntax errors for li in top list. What don't you like about this? Oh, I'm probably missing like a parenthesis. Yeah, I'm missing a closed parenthesis from the previous line. Yeah. Yeah, I do tend to introduce syntax errors in places that I'm working. It's creepy if I somehow manage to introduce a syntax error in something that hasn't changed. Like bugs that just like manifest themselves. Equals. I had these completely inverted, which is dangerous. Like if you say equals when you mean to say equals, like this compiler will tell you. But if you accidentally say equals where you mean to say equals, then it's just not going to work. Your code's just not going to work correctly. Okay, so we got it through all the syntax errors, and it looks like the script is running okay. And if so, I'm just going to wait till it. Yeah, so it initiates an event. All right, that's basically the smoke test, as it were. That could indicate that the script is stable enough to actually run right now. So let's give it a whirl. Okay. For that testing purpose stuff, I just had it so that like all the network stuff was deactivated. Sorry, the graphics look silly, but I was just dragging them into place. But now, yeah, so now the network stuff is re-enabled, so it should actually like populate the player list and et cetera, all that good stuff. Yeah, just a moment. It still takes a moment to connect, but yeah, okay. So purge ban, yeah, okay. So purge ban, init purge ban. Init purge ban. Yeah, so we mute the player, and then we say, so we'll say cur ev dot act. Oh no, you know what we can do? You know what we can do to just like nip this in the bud is rinse the What it actually? Yeah, let's go to the place where we conclude event. So conclude. Well, I mean, one of the steps is to say conclude event equals true. But let's see how we use conclude event. Because right. So in this case, with the determining factor of if event on, right, that is the case. So if the length of event set is greater than 0, or the supertype equals archery. So in order to just like nip this in the bud, we're gonna set the supertype. We're gonna kick the supertype because we basically just like no matter what the event type is, we just want to like shut it down. Um, so we'll nix the super type so that if it was archery, then it won't accidentally get snagged on this, and then we'll say if and then so yeah, we'll just rinse event set too. Event set. Oh yeah, we have to rinse. No, we can just rinse event set. Because the event set and the event dictionary are like tied. Um, but they both get reset when we start an event. So as long as we reset event set for terminating the event, then we should be good to go. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, back up to oops. Yeah. So conclude event equals true. But before we do that, let's say event set equals just an empty set. This is not supposed to be indent. It is not supposed to be in this indent. So event set equals empty set. Cur dot supertype equals I don't know. I can just set it to like blank, I guess. Well, that's weird. That's definitely weird. I mean, I could just set it to supertype equals classic, but like that's also weird. So, I don't know. There's not. I don't know. That should be fine. Conclude event equals true. Okay, so now when the event concludes, it should say event on. Yeah. If oh. Huh. I guess technically the event doesn't have to be on in order to use the purge ban button. Kind of should though. Yeah, because if the event's not on, then like I don't really. Why? Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. We'll see about that. Okay. So right. So because of the things we just set, this should not evaluate as true. It should come down to the else case, all the way down here, all the way down here. And so yeah, so if conclude event, it just says event concluded, and it just sets up for the next event. Um, yeah. Oh. Hmm. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Uh, yeah. Frame. So event time equals detransition window plus transition duration. I guess that's fine. Yeah. All right. So all right. Save that. Is that like basically all? Uh, is that like all that I have to do for the purge ban? No, right, no, because right. So that I think that's all I have to do for the data thread. But then there's the last step of actually like rinsing the screen, which oh, graphics message. Oh, okay, actually, yeah. So okay, so because I'm doing the conclude event thing, graphics messages. Oh, huh. Maybe you know what? The whole visual rinse thing, I might put that here because yeah, like the conclude event button, like or like this conclude event block. This is like basically when this happens anytime the event. This happens basically anytime the event concludes like unceremoniously. What kind of game is this? This is I've been describing it as a tabletop MMO. It's it's kind of like supposed to play a little bit like yeah. So side quest is what's on the bottom of the screen. Did it is it populating the player list correctly? I don't know. Maybe not. I might have. No, that's weird. Usually, huh? I don't know why it's not populating the player list correctly right now. Usually it does as long as I wait long enough after the script crashes to restart it, but like clearly it's not. I don't know what that's about. People like players, you can still get into the game if you speak up in chat, but usually automatically. Anyways, Okay. Yeah. So like, yeah. So side quest is like kind of, it's about like it's a game. It's supposed to be like about adventure. It's like an adventure like RPG sort of game, like focused around storytelling. It's like massively multiplayer in that, like, hypothetically, like this could be played in a stream with like hundreds of thousands of people. Hypothetically, like it's only been tested with like up to 50,000 people so far, but like it ran well with 50,000 people. So um, I don't know. It might work with more. I still have to do some more of that stress testing. Um, but yeah, it's it is what it is. No. So it's yeah. So something to keep in mind, ZX Flames, or like pro tip, if you use the same command twice, what you actually did is you started. Okay, so what you've done right now, ZX Flames, is you've started hiding, but then you stopped hiding because you said it again, and then you started hiding again. So like chill pill, I guess. Yeah. um. So yeah. Let's let's do what now? Uh, let's the right. So the yeah, right. So right, what they're saying is like this is the place where the event is concluding unceremoniously. So um uh the yeah, I guess just no matter when like this a block processes, we can actually no. You know what? So for the event status thing, I'm gonna add in an extra term for the event status thing. Let me make sure I'm not overloading the terms of event status, because I mean I probably will end up putting it here. But furthermore, I want like the way to put. I don't want to like send through a separate message or anything. So I'm basically going to piggyback on this event status message that we're already sending through, and in the case that we're sending this through, we're going to also do like the text ban. You you really got to cool it with those action tags, ZX Flames, because you're not doing anything right now. You literally, what's happened so far, you started hiding, you stopped hiding, you started hiding, and you stopped hiding again. You're literally doing nothing because you've literally canceled yourself out 100%. You've canceled yourself out 200%. So like like if you don't have patience, this game is gonna treat you like you don't have patience. Like I don't know what else to say. Um, okay, so uh, yeah. So for the event status message sent through the graphics thread, we're only using. Oh, ng. So we do use ng message index for. Oh, only in the case that g event on equals 2. Uh, so yeah, so in the case that g event on equals 0. Oh, wait. Oh. What is this ng message index 4 equals true business? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, hold on. This is I've been paying attention to this before. I might want to change like some of how this goes because like I want this yeah. I don't even know what this means, but like uh I think I want to yeah, I want to make this like a separate conditional. So let's how long does the event run before it tallies? There's I think there's like a minute and 45 seconds between the start of the event and the event mid time. Wait, why is that? Why are those? Oh, yeah, freaking. Because of the thing that I just fixed. Like the action tags are still because the conditional that I set up was not correct. I'm gonna restart the script because for one thing, it didn't load the player list correctly, and like I don't know what was up with that because like I gave it enough time. I gave it more than enough time. But then yeah, then the other thing is I set up this conditional wrong, and so those action tags were never going to leave the screen. So yeah, so I think there's like a minute and 45 seconds between the start of the event and the event mid time, and I think there's like another minute and like 30 seconds until the end of the event. Um, yeah. Uh, so yeah, what is this length of ng message greater than 4, ng message index 4 equals true? I mean, like, I like contextually, I can kind of figure out what it means. It means that like we're concluding an archery event, but like, why do I need that? Why don't I just do this all the time? Why don't I just do this every time event on equals 0? I feel like I should just do this every time. Excuse me. I feel like I should just do this every time. Uh, so yeah, so what happened to Trusty in chat? Nothing. I mean, literally, I just took that line of code and I just commented it out. The reason Trusty does not speak in chat anymore is because I realized that it'd be way easier to avoid bots if I just didn't use in text chat. Right, because now if you want to make a bot for this game, you have to make a bot that parses the on-stream visuals for like text recognition. And if anyone wants to do that, like, then there's another reason too. That was partly what inspired me to do it. Actually, wait, hold on. So yeah, this whole ng message greater than 4 thing, I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. I think I'm just gonna do this every time event type equals it. Whoops, I did not mean to unindent this line. Hey, Snapua, how's it going? Welcome. Oh yeah. I haven't finished my thought about like why Trusty doesn't talk in chat anymore, but I'll go back to that. Yeah, but before I do, I should figure out like, so what was I doing with like that extra like term at the end? It must have been at the end of an archery event. So let's oh no, it was important, and I do remember why I was doing it that way. Yeah, no, it is important, and I do remember. Okay, so right, so the reason that we do it like this is because an archery event ends before oh yeah, an archery event ends well before it's done showing the on-screen visuals, because the event ends as soon as the last player participation has been tabulated. But after the last player participation is tabulated, it still shows like the results. Like, it shows it visually. Like, it shows like the arrows hitting the targets and stuff like that. And so so we send those messages through separately because we don't actually want to stop showing the visuals until they're concluded. When do we send this message through, though? Is it like actually timed to go through, or is it just, I feel like it should happen automatically. Does it get scheduled from like its own thread, or like oh no, I remember what it's for. It's no, yeah, it will naturally, right, okay, the graphics will naturally, okay, hey, this is basically, okay, so this conditional right here is actually basically the same. This is the unceremonious conclusion. Yes, this is okay. This is perfect, actually. This is like super perfect. Mr. Blackstar 2, how's it going? Welcome. Yes, no, this is great. This is like this conditional here. I set this up a while ago. Yeah, okay. So like I was saying before, the visuals for for the archery event don't end at the end of the event. And so the reason we have this here is not because we do regularly tell the graphics to finish. Regularly, the graphics will conclude on their own. We use this special. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what's wrong with my face today. I can't pronounce things. This is I'm writing in Python right now. This is I sometimes do C#, but this is Python. uh, the reason that we do sometimes send this message through is that sometimes we do have to conclude an archery event before it's actually concluded, like before it plays through its full course. And in that scenario, we need a command to like just like succinctly like zip it. And so we're gonna do the same thing with the text stuff. Mr. Blackstar02, thank you very much for following. Welcome to the channel. Um, uh, the yeah, so yeah, same deal here. We're gonna say yeah. How do we do this? Screen text. Screen text. We're just gonna say like we have to just reset all of the screen texts immediately, basically. And I forget exactly how it's all set up. There's like screen texts. I think like there's screen text event and like all this other stuff. But then I think there's also just like a screen text. There's like the core screeny text thing itself. Yeah, so for length in screen text. So for li in screen text, if li index, yeah. So this is what I should just like nuke. I don't know why I have this still here. That was left over from before. Yeah, so screen text, I'll just replace it with an empty list. And that's all we need to do, I think. So screen text equals an empty list. And then anything that had been blitting will just stop blitting, and it'll be like that event just like disappeared from the face of the earth, basically. Oh, cool. Well, yeah, let me know if you have questions. I sometimes talk fast, and I don't always enunciate very well. So if you miss anything, feel free to ask. I'm happy to explain whatever madness is going on here. Okay, yeah, fun. So is that satisfactory now? Oh, no, okay, it's not, oh, yeah, no, it is, right, okay, because I was going to say the other thing I need to do is rinse the act slots, but we actually do that regularly. So we're rinsing the action slots, we're rinsing the archery visuals, but, that was unrelated. And now, yeah, I think rinsing screen text is as simple as just, saying screen text blank. Yeah, because screen text is a list of, like, screen texts, like, things to show on screen that get added to this list, and yeah, so by nuking this list, the next time we render a frame, it'll just be like, oh, no text, nothing to render on screen. It just won't render any text on screen. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So, we're setting event on equals 0, so it's not like we won't accidentally like re-add any of that text. I mean, well, okay. So hypothetically, like, this could destroy too much text. This could destroy more text than we actually want destroyed. So like hypothetically, we could go through and just like rip out like the screen text event, like the event text. I don't know if I really care about that level of detail. Like what could I accidentally stomp with this button? Like I could accidentally stomp like growth data, but like growth data doesn't usually happen during an event. Like growth opportunities usually happen after an event, so that's not likely. And in fact, it's not even like a specifically it's not like an unsupported use case, but it's like if it's the sort of thing that like that's like kind of collateral damage. Like that's like that represents like kind of a prior misuse of the system. It's not strictly misusage, but like whatever. It's whatever. I might worry about that. Like that. So what are the other possibilities? I think it's basically just that. And like I said, like those things shouldn't be stacked on top of each other anyways, or like I don't like when those things are stacked on top of each other, so I don't think I care about that scenario. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just more straightforward to just go clean slate. Oh yeah, I think I haven't added something to the list that I want to add to the list, which is just the text command. I It's funny. Like, I know I want this, and I actually don't even remember if I've added it to the game yet. Now that there's no now that the game. Oh, I never finished explaining why Trusty Bard doesn't run in chat, and the script's not running right now. Yikes. Okay. Sorry. um, excuse me. All right, save that. I'm gonna rerun the script, and yeah. So right. So the text command. Now that the text is on screen, and that's like the fundamental like core manner of communication of like language in this game. I just want a command that's like it's like text and then like potato, and then it would say potato on screen, like just something to get text on screen as like the administrator. And I think it'd actually be something as the chat GM as well. So like the chat GM. Yeah. Okay. So that's the other reason. So to finish answering your question. Oh, good. The characters are loading. That's nice at least. To answer your question, Creative, about why Trusty doesn't talk in chat anymore, it's not that Trust. Oh yeah. So the reason Trusty literally doesn't talk in chat is, like I said before, because of the bot. The reason, but like, if it was just that bot, then I don't think I would have like worried as much. When would I say that side quest is done? I'll probably never say that. If you hear me say that, it's probably imposter. It's probably not the real me. Um, uh, in terms of like when I plan on working on other projects, I think that's usually what people mean when they say like when is side quest done. I think what they actually mean to ask is like when am I going to start working on other projects, and that could be really soon. I I don't know. I'm still a little up in the air about it, but I've been thinking about starting a new project pretty soon. Um, okay. Yeah. So if it was just a matter of bots, like I probably wouldn't have necessarily taken Trusty out of chat, or like okay. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the other reason that it doesn't matter, or the other reason Trusty isn't talking in chat is because that's not like chat is not a reliable method of communication for the purposes of this game. In it, like we were talking about earlier, like if this game is hypothetically played in a channel with like hundreds of thousands of people all at the same time, chat is going to be like flying by, and like the text for this game, it's not just like a word or like two words. It's like sentences and like basically paragraphs sometimes. Um, and in it, like there's no you're not going to be able to read Trusty's, like if Trusty says more, like if Trusty says like an entire sentence, like you're not going to be able to read it when like chat is just like flying by like so fast. So there's like I had for like the first like 6 months of this project, I relied on in chat text. Like there was only in chat text. Like on screen text was added only relatively recently, and the chat text was always like was never a solution. It was never like the game could never have worked that way, except in these like very like edge, these like very specific conditions. So yeah, so it was like the bots, or like the botting reason is like a significant part of why I literally took Trusty Bard out of chat, but like conceptually, like Trusty Bard is gone from chat regardless, because chat is not like it's not really a function of the game. It's a vestige of how the game used to work, or it would have been a vestige of how the game used to work, because all like really the screen is what should be conveying this information, because the screen is like curated communication, and like so whereas chat is just like this like stream of consciousness from like this collective, public assembly. Like that's how the game is played, but it's not how the game communicates information. It's how the game hears information. It's how the game like takes input, but then in terms of like the output, it's very much curated. So there's like interplay between like those like like what's happening in chat and what's happening on screen, in ad lib events when players get to choose their own actions, and in spontaneous guest GMs or like crowned guest GMs when players can like tell the story, but there's not uh, there's not like there's no reason to like if I wanted to put all of chat on screen, I could just do what some people do and what I used to do actually, and just like use OBS to like show the chat on screen or something like that. Anyways, um, all right, what so I'm done now with spontaneous chat jams. I'm just completely done. Because we have the purge ban button, we have the GM ban state. Um, really? I don't know. That didn't feel as difficult as I thought it would be. Um, let's. I mean, I guess the real proof will be when we uh, when we actually test it out and see it working. Hey, look! I have my little purge ban button here. Oh, I guess that's probably like off screen. Oh, can you even probably? Oh no, okay, yeah, it's no. You can see the bottom of it. I was well, oops, I didn't mean to scale that. I meant to drag it. Eventually, this the secret control panel will be so big that I can't even show you what it looks like on screen because it's just not gonna fit. But okay, yeah, I'm gonna call that done. There's zero chance of, or there's virtually zero chance that it actually is like 100% like working and good and not broken in some way. But I don't have any like, there are no overt like mandatory like things to do now. So everything else that we have to do for this, I think, is just going to be a matter of uh, responding to what we find when we actually put it into practice. Persistence of energy levels. That's yeah, that was something that that'll probably be the next thing I do, because it was one of those things that, oh, actually, that well, as soon as I say that, I realize that actually might be a slightly bigger task than yeah. Ooh, that might be an interesting task. We'll see about that one. Uh, but it is something that I want to address. It might be the next task, but I like persistence of energy levels might not be like, I might, instead of implementing a system where energy levels are persistent, I might make a different change that brings about the effect of having persistent energy levels. And it's not going to be like strictly persistent. It's going to be it's just going to be like there's going to be a buffer, because right now if you leave the chat channel and then re-enter the chat channel, you're back to energy zero. Um, and I think it will be something like that, but uh, what? It'll be like that, but then there'll be a buffer. So like there'll be like, if you leave and you come back within a minute and a half or so, like, if you're not like gone, if you like come back. Yeah, yeah, I think that's how it'll work. Well, I mean there is an alternative now that I think about it. I could just completely divorce energy from the player dictionary, because the player dictionary is all the data that like gets unloaded when you leave. Uh, but I could I could just make it so that that is entirely calculated separately, and so it continues to calculate the energy of players who no longer exist. That might be like an unnecessary amount of processing, and I might decide not that I don't want to do it for that reason. But actually, that actually might be simpler, or like more graceful in a lot of ways. So I might stick with that actually. Well, Actually, so there are other reasons that I was considering. Did I say what the possible other outcome would, or what the other possible solution would be? Yeah, no, the thing about like, yeah, yeah. So if you leave the channel, you don't immediately get removed from the game. You get removed from the game like a minute and a half later. And like there is another reason that I might want to do that is that the system that we just implemented, spontaneous guest GMs, right now. No, actually, no. There's already that buffer for spontaneous guest GMs because the yeah, no, there already is that buffer. Yeah, so okay, so actually maybe persistence of energy levels won't involve like the departure thing. Maybe persistence of energy levels will literally be the persistence of energy levels. Like you will literally like, I mean, you're like, so the way the system works now is that like by participating in events you gain energy, and everyone's energy is constantly waning, right? So the way you keep energy is to keep participating in events, right? If you keep participating in events, then you know you'll your energy will like stay higher, right? But of course, if you leave, you won't be participating in events, so your energy will just continue to drain. I don't know. That could be fine. Because then, like in the case that like someone's like in the lead, like if they're like top dog or whatever, and then they so like Protospasm right now, top dog, co top dog with whoever that is. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Um, uh, then yeah. So then like let's say Protospasm leaves and comes back in like 10 minutes. Like you know he'll have lost some energy, but he wouldn't necessarily be like literally at zero. You know, he might be like somewhere in the middle. Um, because that covers. Yeah, no, I think that's probably just how I'm gonna do the persistence of energy level. So yeah, why not? Okay. I know it's just like real life, right? Energy is just always. Uh, uh, oh, maybe that's how I monetize the game. Maybe I sell like coffee. You can buy coffee for your character, and that'll like boost your energy levels. I'm just kidding. I don't plan on monetizing this game. Um, so let's what? Um, hmm. You know what's exciting is we just so I restarted the script after enabling the spontaneous guest jamming, and we just had an event, which means we are now we are rapidly, or not too rapidly, but we are approaching the very first guest GM spot, the first spontaneous guest GM spot in the very near future. I for one cannot wait to see how this turns out. Yeah, Creative, it's great to have you here. I hope to see you again in the near future. I do plan on streaming. I've been really like my schedule has been like just so unimpressive lately, but that's not. I regret that. I mean, like I don't know. I I don't necessarily want that to be the case. I want us to be streaming more. So yeah, okay. So persistence of energy levels. I I I sorry. I'm going to call it. I wanted to stream a lot today because I haven't streamed a lot lately. Oh, that's so anticlimactic. I just called out how like the very first like spontaneous guest jam event could be happening in the very near future, and I'm like, nope, never mind, calling it. I apologize for that. I did not mean to be like a jerk in that regard, but I actually I got a notification like 15 minutes ago that I have to go, and I was like maybe I can just hold out a little bit longer, but no, I can't ignore that. I have to be a good and responsible person. So I apologize for the somewhat sudden shift in gears. But oh yeah, so the reason I'm in Facecam right now is because I'm going to find another cool dev streamer, and we can go be friend times with other cool dev streamer and share in the dev streaming goodness. I'm just going to right. So yeah, I'm not supposed to show other people's streams on my stream. So I have my browser open and I'm looking for another cool dev stream right now. And while I'm looking for that, I will say thank you to everyone for tuning in. Things went pretty smoothly today. I mean, we did have that one like mystery crash that like just like came out of nowhere, but like for the most part, I feel like, you know, it was going pretty well. So I yeah, like I said, I'm also, you know, I do want to be a person who like streams, who like actually like does his job. Like I'm not trying to be like a complete slacker. So so yeah, I mean last week I said like, I mean the whole point of like repurposing my or like fixing my schedule was so that I could actually like, you know, stream on weekends and like at other like odd hours and stuff that previously I hadn't been really taking advantage of. And the I didn't do it that last weekend, but I'm not gonna say I will do it this weekend because who knows, but like I could. And so I don't know. I'm a little bit like mercurial, but I do want to like convey that I want to be like, you know, streaming. So I don't know if that means anything, but anyways, I hope to see you all some point in the near future again, and we can have more good dev stream fun times. Until next time, though, have a wonderful whatever time of day it is where you are. Bye, bye, guys. Goodbye. Bye, bye, bye. Goodbye. Okay, I'm gonna type in a host command, /host, the seltzer. And if the host command didn't work for you, then, well, isn't that just the worst? Bye.